Aftermath of
Right,
Slavery,
so this
Part
is
5.
part 5, and we're continuing to talk about the aftermath of slavery and what was really happening to societies and to brown peoples after the abolition of slavery. So let's continue from the previous video. So again, I was talking about how the societies and the different communities of brown peoples were basically flourishing. They even though slowly and even though incrementally, they still had progress where they were amassing wealth, they were amassing land, they were amassing, different areas of town that, again, was starting to become a threat. And that's when they started getting attacks, they started getting lynching, they started getting all sorts of different negativities pointed towards them, even though all they really wanted to do was to become an equal part of society, to be able to trade, to be able to sell, to be able to do work, and just stay out of everyone else's way, right? Because, they're coming from nothing. So again, the little that they're making, for some reason, it became somewhat of a scared tactic, somewhat of a force to be reckoned with, as far as the intellectual capacity of the previous slave masters and their offspring, which are now coming into play and understanding that these people are now separate. They now have the power to do what they want to do, and they have the power to build their own societies as they see fit. Now, while this is going on, the previous captors continued to make laws, rules, regulations, and separate people on paper, right? And paper is a very powerful thing. If you didn't know, if something is codified in law or some kind of regulation is passed and, society agrees that, this is what they're going to abide by, you can't just step out of that box and operate how you want to operate unless you separate yourself completely from the society and you form your own society and government. That's completely different. But at the end of the day, you have to follow the rules and regulations of where you live and where you stay and interact in commerce or even in personal matters with others around you. So that became a very big issue where a lot of the things that were being promulgated against brown peoples was considered legal, right? It wasn't illegal. So even though it was wrong, it was morally wrong, it was not illegal. There was no contest in many cases to the atrocities that were happening. And that was, again, primarily because brown folks did not have access to law, the institutions making law. They couldn't vote for a long time. They couldn't participate in the critical decision making that was basically overpowering their lives. And they just kind of had to suck it up. They had to hide, run, just kind of stay out of the way of the captors who were trying to keep them into a box or keep them into a cave. And we're going to get into the actual paperwork in the next session.